You're watching the footy, enjoying a few drinks when the referee makes a call you don't like. Most people might yell at the TV, but this rugby fan went way too far, abusing the ref and his family online. It was vile and landed him in court.
South Africa fulfilled their destiny.
We can get behind that anonymity you're hiding behind and we can find you.
How do you feel about being an online troll?
You can't get away with this.
This was the game at the Rugby World Cup in France that has a sequel playing out in an Australian court.
And it's Duncan Paya.
No try, lost forward.
Samoa leading in their final group match, only to have a try disallowed and then a player sin-binned, with England coming from behind to snatch a 1-point victory.
And England get the win.
That result sparked this man, Aaron Isaiah, a devout Christian and youth worker in Logan, south of Brisbane, to unleash a torrent of abuse towards a match official via social media.
You got anything you'd like to say to the people that you said those things to?
The New Zealand-born 22-year-old appeared in Beenleigh Magistrates Court today, pleading guilty to using a carriage service to menace or harass.
You probably never thought you'd get charged for something like this, did you?
Oh, no, I knew.
You knew?
Yeah.
Do you realise now how much damage saying this sort of stuff causes to people? The court heard the exact messages Aaron Isaiah sent. They're too disgusting for us to be able to broadcast, but they were sent to the referee and his wife, even mentioning their children.
The court heard he was intoxicated at the time and caught up in the emotion of Samoa losing. Magistrate Shane Elliott told Isaiah that officials around the world in all different sports shouldn't have to put up with abuse, particularly aimed at family members. Taking into account his remorse and clean criminal history, Isaiah was given a $1,000 good behaviour bond for 12 months, with no conviction recorded.
Would you like to apologise to the match official and his family on camera?
No.
No?
The charges came about after World Rugby bosses decided to monitor social media accounts of match officials and players at last year's World Cup, looking to address online abuse. World Rugby CEO Alan Gilpin.
Of course, this has been about protecting players, match officials, those who are most important in our sport, and making sure that we are doing everything we can to protect them from online hatred.
Gilpin says investigations are also underway in New Zealand, France and South Africa, in addition to the charge brought in Australia.
It's really important to us that a prosecution has been brought. We're delighted, that the Queensland police authorities have been interested in moving that forward.
World Rugby engaged digital experts Signify Group to monitor social media. Signify Group's CEO Jonathan Hirschler says they use an AI-driven system called the Threat Matrix to identify alleged abuse.
Using machine learning, it's able to pick up instances of targeted abuse when they're being directed at a particular athlete, a particular account.
During the World Cup, Signify monitored 1.3 million social media posts targeting players, coaches and match officials, with 54,000 identified as potentially abusive.
Sending abusive messages, threatening, violent messages to players, coaches, match officials, their families, their partners is completely unacceptable.
It's just not acceptable. It's against the law and it should be dealt with in that way.
Former NRL referee Matt Checken knows the toll online abuse takes. His decorated career took in grand finals and Origin games, as well as the introduction of social media.
When I first started my career, there was no such thing as social media, and you might get 1 or 2 news articles a year based on mistakes you may have made. Now, unfortunately, after every game, there's hundreds of comments.
The lowest point in his career came after being targeted with death threats following a World Cup game.
Me getting the death threat was one thing. It was when my son got a death threat, my partner got a death threat, my mum and my sister all got attacked with personal death threats.
We've got to be careful that fans don't always see the referee as the kind of villain in this.
We're the most hated person in the stadium.
World Rugby has even released a documentary called Whistleblowers to help educate the public on the pressure faced by officials.
They target your family, your kids, and there's nothing you can do about it.
It's tough for the kids to wear their dad's bullets.
Alan Gilpin admits the complex nature of rugby's rules make it harder for fans to understand some decisions, but he believes they are now on notice not to resort to abuse.
If you're engaging in that type of abuse of the people involved in our sport, we can get behind that anonymity you're hiding behind, and we can find you and we can pass you on to the relevant authorities, and prosecutions can be brought.
You're an online troll now. What would you say to other people who think that this sort of stuff is okay?
We're human. We try and get it right all the time, but we never do.